Now that we've moved into the Navisworks product, we're going to look at some of the ease of use with the product, but more importantly, in this first portion of the demonstration, we're going to take a look at bringing some of that data together. Let's look at a quick example. So the Navisworks product itself can of course bring in multiple CAD platforms. More importantly, how effectively it can bring in most of the commonly used platforms in any industry. In this first example, I'm going to bring in some data together of a building, the infrastructure of the building, the support of the building, and maybe a little bit of the layout of the ground that the building is going to go on. The first thing we're going to take a look at is some services for the building that's been created. In this case, we're going to take a look at the idea of some DWG files were maybe created in MEP from Autodesk. So quickly, as we bring this data in, we're going to be able to see a ton of data already being developed with Autodesk Navisworks and how quickly it brought in this large amount of data. If we're used to the platform, we know our little home view over here. We know some of our view cube options, and we'll even take a look at the navigation wheel. So here we brought in all the services of a building very quickly, very easily. Now let's add on to this. In this case, I'm going to simply append some more data to this design. Maybe some data we're looking for is the architecture of the building itself. So we can go ahead and bring in that information. Again, look how quickly and easily we can bring in that data. Take this one step further, we can go ahead and bring in the structural support of this building. Simply go ahead, grab the structural support, and that data is going to come in. But we do have a small problem that's occurred. We have a little alignment issues between the multiple CAD systems that this information was developed in. So we have some tools that are going to allow us to easily position this data as we go through. So the first thing I'm going to do is kind of use my view cube to go ahead and align my design. I'm also going to want to use my navigation tool to help with other aspects of this. Our navigation tools, very easy to use, allowing us to zoom, create, pan inside of our designs. And once we're done with this tool, it's easy enough to turn off and get it out of our way. So the first thing we need to do is select the data that we need to move and reposition. And it's this upper structure. I'll simply select that data and hide everything else. Autodesk Navisworks gives us a set of tools not only to go through and measure data, but to easily move it within inside of our designs. In this case, I'll simply go through, grab this point I would like to take a measurement from with my data, turn on my other portion of data, kind of get back to my zoom wheel here, pan this up, and zoom into the point where I'd like to take my measurement from and to. In this case, I'm going through and I've grabbed that measurement, and we can see the overall distance is applied for us. But a unique tool that we have inside of here is for Navisworks to automatically basically transform our objects for us. So it's made that transformation. We can clear our stats, and now we can take a look at how easily we're able to move the support structure for this building. Again, if we want to take this a little bit farther, we could go ahead and do that and append even more data into this design. When we think about our data that we want to append into this design, we might think of even something that comes from the civil world. We can simply bring that data in. In this case, it's I guess not very what I'll call sexy looking, but we can go through and we can make some very simple changes to this. As we're doing this, I could simply add some material to this design and take a look at some of the other data that's been provided for us with inside the design itself. It's the layout structure of the land. Being able to go through and understand and take a look at this as needed. We also have some polyline representation of maybe some of the different elevations that also may exist inside of this design. So when we start thinking about data that we would like to utilize inside of Navisworks, there's quite a list of data that we can bring in. So let's take a quick look at that list.